They thought the husky was going to bite their baby. They were completely wrong. The dog had been trying to save him since Tuesday morning. And nobody in that house understood it until a doctor said 4 words that made them both go silent. Jonah and Priya Mercer had done everything right. They had introduced their Siberian husky, Atlas, to 10-month-old Eli slowly, the way every article and every veterinarian had told them to. Blanket first, then supervised visits, then gradual proximity. Atlas was 4 years old, 62 pounds, and had spent his entire life being described by everyone who met him as the gentlest animal they had ever encountered. He slept at the foot of their bed. He had never growled. He had never snapped. He was the kind of dog that made strangers stop on sidewalks and ask if they could pet him. Eli had been fussy since Sunday. Not sick exactly. No fever, no rash, no cough. Just wrong. The kind of wrong that doesn't have a name yet. He was eating, but not finishing. Sleeping, but not settling. Crying in a way that sounded less like discomfort and more like confusion, as if his body was sending signals even he couldn't translate. Monday evening, Atlas moved. He crossed the living room and lowered himself onto the rug, directly in front of Eli's bouncy seat, not beside it, in front of it. His muzzle 6 inches from Eli's face, his pale blue eyes locked on the baby's expression. Priya called him back. He returned to the rug once she stopped watching. Tuesday morning, it escalated. Eli was on the playmat, reaching the way babies do. Arms out, fingers spread, trying to grasp whatever the world would offer. His hands found Atlas's face. The dog went completely still. He let the baby's small fingers close around his muzzle, his nose, the loose fur at his jaw. He didn't flinch. He didn't turn. He breathed in, slow and deep, his nose pressed directly toward Eli's open mouth. Jonah saw it from the kitchen doorway. What came next felt, in the moment, like the only responsible decision 2 parents could make. Atlas was a large dog. Eli was 10 months old. The behavior was fixating, intrusive, and escalating. Jonah had read enough to know that dogs who showed sudden interest in infants sometimes did so for reasons that didn't end well. He said the words to Priya without looking away from the dog. "We need to separate them." Atlas went into the laundry room. Door closed. Within 20 minutes he was scratching. Not frantic scratching, measured, consistent, rhythmic. The kind that meant something. Priya told herself it was separation anxiety. She had a name for the behavior and a name for the dog, and an action she had taken. And that felt, in the moment, like having things under control. If you stay for stories about what animals know before we do, you are exactly where you need to be. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Eli slept for 2 hours. When he woke, he was quieter than before, and Priya felt the relief that comes from a problem appearing to resolve itself. She changed him, sat him on the playmat, went to start dinner. She was at the stove when she heard Atlas hit the laundry room door, not scratching this time. His full weight against it. Once, then again, then a 3rd time with enough force that a jar of cooking spray rattled on the shelf above the washing machine. Jonah looked at her. She looked back. They opened the door together. Atlas went past them, without pausing, and crossed the kitchen directly to Eli. Both front paws on the playmat edge, muzzle pressed to the baby's face. And this time, Eli didn't cry. He made no sound at all. He was pale in a way that didn't match the October afternoon coming through the window. His eyes were open but unfocused, tracking nothing. His hands lay flat, the wrong kind of still. Priya picked him up before she formed a thought. The limpness was immediate and unmistakable. She had held a healthy baby 10,000 times. This was not that. She called 911 before she reached the front door. Eli's blood glucose registered at 34 milligrams per deciliter in the driveway. Normal for a child his age falls between 70 and 100. At 34, the brain begins losing function. The window before permanent damage is narrow and does not announce itself. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Dr. Sun Adeyemi, pediatric endocrinologist at Riverside Children's, sat across from them on the second morning. She explained what had been happening inside Eli's body since Sunday. An undetected metabolic condition was causing his glucose to drop episodically, silently, with almost no external symptoms. The fussiness, the uneven sleep, the confusion in his cry, all of it was his body signaling what it couldn't say. Then, she said the part that neither of them was prepared for. Dogs can detect the volatile compounds produced by low blood glucose at concentrations well below human perception. They respond to it before any visible symptom appears, before any monitor registers the change. Your dog was not fixating on your baby. He was reading a chemical signature that was getting worse every hour. Every time Atlas pressed his nose toward Eli's mouth, he was checking a number no one else in that house could see. Another 20 minutes, Dr. Adeyemi said, and the outcome of this conversation would have been very different. Every guardian deserves to be seen, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Jonah opened the laundry room that evening and stood in the doorway for a moment, without speaking. Atlas came out, walked past him, and went directly to the spot on the playmat where Ellie had been lying. He lowered himself to the floor, exhaled once, and settled. Ellie was upstairs, stable, sleeping in his crib with a glucose monitor clipped to his small arm. The light blinked green every 3 seconds. Atlas lay on the playmat and watched the ceiling above the stairs. The next story involves a dog who changed his behavior 3 weeks before a diagnosis nobody saw coming.